Our next stop is the Fordham Foundry, an incubator for small businesses spearheaded by students. I talked with Shema Kalisa, who works at the Foundry and is also working to launch his own business. Shema, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me.
Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. Welcome.
So here we are at the Fordham Foundry. What is the Fordham Foundry?
So the Fordham Foundry is a business incubator. It's a partner. It came about from a partnership between the university and Small Business Services, which is a department of the city, or one of the city's organs, I guess would be the term. And it's a mixed-use incubator. We look for businesses and work with businesses from across the spectrum, from technology to financial services, and mainly students. And the goal is to also work with the local community and encourage and help local businesses. So that's actually a lot of what SBS does. And we sort of work a lot more closer with Fordham University, with the Fordham University community.
Why is an incubator like this so important? What are the primary challenges for entrepreneurs looking to get their start?
So the reason it's so important is that it acts as like sort of a archive of like information, and that's probably the most important thing that an entrepreneur needs. There's a lot of big ideas and tropes and a misunderstanding, I think, of what an entrepreneur should do, how they should work, what are the steps, is it even possible, should I go for it? And so having a place where people can get encouragement, but also actual, reliable, good information, someplace that they can come and get workshops or work together and collaborate is really important in fostering, and not only fostering, but also honing that entrepreneurial sort of drive or initiative or whatever that idea is. And that's why it's most important, I think.
What are among the big ideas that have so far come out of the Fordham Foundry?
Well, I don't know if any have come out of the Fordham Foundry, but some that are in the Fordham Foundry. One of the coolest ideas is, so we've got two. We recently just had a successful Kickstarter for a company called Pump Stash. And it's a girl, she's a girl named Corinne Logan is the founder. And basically she's suffered from diabetes her whole life, and she always had to have an insulin pump attached to her, but she's also very active. And there wasn't anything on the market that allowed her to do that, so no kind of like clothing or whatever. So her mom always used to sew a little pocket for her insulin pump. And so she decided, like, okay, this is a problem. I understand the market clearly. And she wanted to develop a product called Pump Stash. And she just completed a successful Kickstarter, making her first order. And it's a really great example of a need that is sort of overlooked, but, you know, is needed, or is like serves a really large percent of the population. So that was actually one of the coolest things that just came out. Another thing was brevity. A guy who just graduated, and then Brandon, great product designer, designed from scratch a backpack that's made specifically for people in film and television. So you guys. And it's I guess a camera backpack. The design is really well done, and the branding is well done. And he went out and started from cardboard cutouts to getting a full manufacturing run, raised about $40,000 as Kickstarter, and now is building that company out, and they're talking with bigger brands and trying to incorporate their product. So those are two of the more exciting things that have come out of the product of the Foundry in terms of not only great product, but also sort of flash. On the other side, we have like Lavera, who's over here in the corner, and she runs a financial services and sort of consulting company. And those tend to be overlooked just because they do things that are less flashy, but equally and actually, in fact, more important, because she works with a lot of people in terms of helping them with the finances in the actual community, and she does great stuff. So those are some examples of some of the things that are coming out of the Foundry.
So the Foundry is contributing to the immediate community as well, obviously, with this example, of course.
In terms of supporting a company that does work directly with the community, absolutely. And then on the other side, obviously, we have the SBS who works every day with the community. I know they do. They help people find small business loans, educate people about the law. They help people get incorporated. They have classes, hold interviews. So there's like a round of interviews going on. So really, it's a great. The university and then the city together kind of does their best to help everybody.
Now, I understand you've developed your own app called Gym to Gym, right?
Actually, it's called Go Gym Go.
Go Gym Go, okay.
But that's the idea, gym to gym. I mean, yeah, it's basically we report in real time the availability of specific gym equipment. So if you wanted to go to the gym during rush hour, it would tell you 3 out of 5 ellipticals are free at this moment. And we use some neat little sensors and stick them on the machines, and so we'll be piloting at the university really soon. And so yeah, and hopefully it'll be more than gyms. Will be hospital beds or maybe petrol stations, because limited shared resources. So hopefully we'll sort of refine the technology and get it out there. And actually the Foundry was really instrumental in that. I showed up with a piece of paper, and these guys were like, all right, well, go ask a bunch of people questions and see if that helps. And so through a lot of the guidance that I received here, I incorporated here. I was able to see some workshops here. Just through that experience, to kind of refine the idea. I mean, at the very beginning, it was an idea for global remittances, and it just, you talk to people, you find out what people really want, and that was the thing I got most out of the Foundry, was how important it is to speak to people, find out what they want, empathy, like we were speaking about before. So yeah.
So tell me about this great wall behind us, because there's a lot of fantastic things going on here.
Yeah. So the kid who did Brevity, he did the sort of graphic for us, and really it's just a whiteboard paint, and it's a place where people can kind of show up and test stuff out, write your ideas down. It's great to see things in action. It's great to write down processes and steps, and it's really helpful. And then conversely, it's also helpful from an image sort of standpoint. So we're not the most in terms of our funding, we're not the most robust situation at the Foundry, but this kind of gets the idea across that kids are in here trying, working, refining, and I mean, for me, my favorite part is like the stains, because you can see where like everyone's written over and over again. But yeah, it's just kind of like our idea wall.
So leave us with your top piece of advice for an aspiring business person.
I would say speak to 100 people about your idea, take criticism really well, and listen to what they have to say. And if you can't find 10 people that like your idea, move on. Don't waste your time or your money. Yeah, I think that's the most important thing.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. I appreciate it.